But yeah, okay, King's Row. Right, so Nightmare, they came out with this Hanzo. Let's talk about Hanzo. Let's talk about Hanzo because this is a thing that is specifically for First Point. First Point, King's Row, is probably one of the best indicators of coaching and like strategic planning in the game. I think First Point King's Row tells me more about a coach than anywhere else in any match. Like, that might sound crazy, but seriously, this First Point, it's so different from the rest of the map that everyone tends to have set strategies for the first point of King's Row. It's a difficult point to defend, it's awkward to defend, but if you defend it correctly and you get a good hold, that gives you a massive advantage on the map. And the same thing with attacking. Attacking it is a lot different, it's weird, and you have to be smart about how you attack it. And it all centers around high ground control, how you set up on high grounds, and also how you force the point. There are two things going on. It's like, okay, we have the point to deal with. If you're the defending team, you can't let the attacking team force the point and get ticks for free, but also you might need to give a few ticks and then push in or something if you need to. So you kind of dedicate someone usually to contest a little bit, right? So in this case, you have like Max on D.Va, you have Hisung on Pharah. Max can drop down, contest cart, and then go back onto the high ground. I like the D.Va here. I think it's pretty good. Juno Brig, now this can work as well. I think Brig is fair, Juno Brig in general. You have the Brawl backline, and also you can run that later on in the map as well. So I think this, like, generally this first point defense is solid, and Hisung is going to control the angle. So we'll see it in a moment here. We'll see it in a moment. We'll skip ahead. So you see this little Pharah right in the bottom left here. You see that? That's Hisung right there. And he's on Pharah, and he's going to sit behind this hotel here. This building here is called Hotel. He's going to sit behind it and play back there and just poke and poke and poke and poke and poke from that angle. And then Lip on Ashe is going to switch between the different positions in the high ground. He's going to start forward here. He's going to be poking, then wrap around back here, and he's going to be poking point, right? And the back line is going to sit high ground as well. You see Max is going to float. The D.Va can float a little bit. That's the plan here. Now for Nightmare, they're going to do something to try and break that. You see Lip starting... Lip didn't even get a chance to go high ground. So he was starting low ground and he was going to go up high ground. He wasn't going to stay there, but he's just dead. He's just dead. And here's the thing with the Hanzo as well on first point. Either way, even if Lip was up on this high ground here, or the one further back there, the problem is that playing against Hanzo is completely unfair. You hit a headshot on him, he does not die. You hit a good headshot, and then if the Hanzo hits a good headshot on the Ashe dies. So it's really easy if an Ashe is in this little confined choke point area to just, you know, throw storm arrows there, right? Throw storm arrows though, pressure that. It's super, super easy to pressure out. And then the Hanzo also has the added advantage of being able to push high grounds directly. He's able to go up to the side here and able to pressure directly. He's able to go up here, you know, like he can kind of move freely. And again, first point is all about high ground control. So Hanzo specifically for attacking the first point on King's Row can be optimal, especially to deal with Ashe. I think Hanzo is basically an Ashe counter in these situations. And actually, I can see in the future teams realizing that, oh, our opponent can just run Hanzo, so we should probably run Hanzo on defense as well. And then both teams mirror Hanzo for first point, because it's just like, well, what if they just walk out on Hanzo and completely counter our Ashe, right? That is maybe an evolution I can see happening here. Max is going to take some damage back off. Now, Crazy Raccoon, they've lost a player. All they can do here is give ticks. They're going to give two. You see where Hisung is? Yep. Moves from Hotel into the window. That was greedy from Chorong. There we go. You see how Lethal can, you know, kind of threaten that high ground and that force the boosters at a max. That's good. And then Lethal's just keeping the central position. And what happened there? What happened with the drop? Oh, there's a speed ring went out. So Crazy Raccoon, did they decide to fully drop here? Did Shu just feed on Brig? Also, Shu's on Brig. That's interesting. But well, I think it was because they wanted to like swap characters in a certain way. But like, what was Shu doing there? I think this is a miscomm. This is a problem. What are we doing? We do not need to drop. Oh God. No. This is yeah. Don't do this, chat. So dropping our Brig is kind of a last resort, or if we're gonna brawl and we feel like we have an advantage. Do we have an advantage here? No. Do we even have angles here? No, we do not have angles here. Is anyone low? Not really. No. And can our D.Va live on point? Yes, our D.Va has like all of her armor. Our D.Va has all of her armor. We do not need to be doing this right now. This is not an emergency. You know, we should keep our backline alive, on point. We should have our DPS like push in, take some angles. Once we have a bit more space to work with, I think this is something we can think about doing. But right now, this should not be on our minds. Dropping here should not be on our minds. But yeah, for those wondering, yeah, that's a good point. Max is here as the traditional off-tank player to specifically play D.Va. He's mainly like the D.Va specialist, but also for like Ramatra and Sig, right? So those three heroes, Jumpin I think can play Ramatra just fine though. I know Jumpin can play Ramatra, but like, you know, D.Va, Sig, and then Max is also there for that Ramatra. But the D.Va is the most important thing here, because I feel like to be successful in King's Row nowadays, D.Va is actually one of the most important heroes you need to learn. You cannot just force ram on first point unless you have a really good set strat going. I think trying to ram, especially on first point attack, is a recipe for disaster if you're against a good team, like an actual good team. The only thing is, here's the thing, you can get away with a lot, even in like, you know, your average 4K or whatever scrims, or even like Masters Division or something, like Face It League, because most teams do not have any idea on how they want to play this point, and they just don't think of it any differently. I feel like only the top level teams even try to play this point correctly, or try and play it with like a human thought going. Like, no offense, again, no offense to like Face It teams or whatever, but like, I mean, this point is hard, and again, it says the most about the coach, I think, and about the team's kind of ideas and strategies, because it's just so it can be so complex and turn into a bit of a puzzle. That's also why you almost never see mirrors here between teams on King's Row first point, because what's good on defense is not good on attack. You're usually picking heroes specifically to defend or attack this point, so that's also something to think about. Oh, the whip shot miss as well. Oh, that hurts my soul. That hurts my soul, missing the whip shot after making such a risky drop. But yeah, no, I think really here Crazy Raccoon should be working the buy time. Big mistake though from Shu. Okay. Well, our GOAT Shu kind of at fault there, but also Shu isn't exactly a break player, I'd say. Yeah, that'll do it though. That'll do it for sure. Oh, Shu. No, I forgot about this. He swapped Zen so early. So I hate this. I hate this. This is a thing you can do on third point, at the very end of third point. Anywhere else, please don't do this. Please don't do this. I think it's terrible. Because here's the thing, when you have a Zen, you're just perma-playing second. You're always playing to bait, and you basically have to give up the entire second point, because your Zen only wants to play this very back area here, and then if you lose second point, then you have to give up the rest of third point and play for the back of third point, so you just give so much fucking cart push. No, watch this. It's so comical how much cart push Nightmare's about to get for free. Like, watch, because Shu doesn't want to push up. Shu's gonna be like scared this whole time. Now, I do think Lethal not swapping right after first point is a bit of a mistake, but it's fine. I mean, he does swap after they lose a fight, I think, so it's fine. Isn't Juno Zen a glass cannon? It is, and that's a bit of a problem. Because look how scared Shu has to be. And you see, they're already letting to this first corner. So far, Nightmare have gotten it to the first corner. Pretty good, pretty solid. And remember, the point of the game is the objective. It's not necessarily winning fights. So even if, like, you know, sure, Crazy Raccoon could win this fight, but if they allow Nightmare to push the whole way past this, while doing that, they may as well just lost a fight, you know? Like, it's almost just as bad as losing a fight. But watch, you see, this is a very, very close sightline now for Shu. And Zira is going to be threatening this soon. He's going to be controlling this left side. Yep, and you see, Shu's going to keep backing. He's just threatened. Now the cart has gone past that corner. We're now at this corner here. See? It's just moving. It's moving. And what, like, Shu has to push so forward. Do a bit of damage. And then you see Max trying to stop the cart, but he can't really, like, engage on anything. Shu's trying to find a different angle here through this little hallway. And this is not ideal, though. I don't feel like this is ideal at all. And then you have to kite away. You see Kuffa comes in there to clear. Max is forced away. All that Max is doing here is just sitting cart. There's no brawling. We can't brawl. You know, we dropped the brig. So now, if we had a brig, you know, at least we could, like, brawl. And I think the Hazard still beats the D.Va here, but you know, we have some brawl potential going. We're good. But look at where the card is now. And watch, it's gonna keep pushing. It's gonna keep pushing. Now if Nightmare win a fight, they get second point. You see how much of a problem that is? It's such a large issue here. It's such a large issue here. You give up so much space. She's gonna keep trying to play this angle, I guess. And now you finally have this super far back angle. This is where she wanted to play from the beginning, but like, yeah, look at where the cart is. This fight is still going. Nightmare, neither team has lost a singular player. Nightmare's winning. They're winning by a long shot. What Shu's character pool? Basically every flex support hero and honestly Brig. I think you can play a bit of Brig. But yeah, all the flex supports. Actually, I'm not sure if I've seen him on Alari, but I don't doubt that he has an Alari. And now he's going to play back. There's the orbital ray. She's going to keep kiting. And then Max died. Max got forced away, died. Oh my goodness. This is just not working at all. Now the orbital ray and the Bob, just like any sort of desperation that can be found here for Nightmare, just trying to like force their way through. The Bob's dead. I think that was an amazing kite there as well from Nightmare, if I'm not mistaken. I actually want to watch that from Nightmare, because that looked really good. That looked really good. You notice the disengage. Okay. So CR just gave up a fight spot for no reason. It's not that. It's that their comp doesn't let them fight there. They started running Zen. They were playing for their Zen. They were playing correctly. The problem is that the comp itself is terrible for this situation in such a close corner-to-corner map, and well, specifically area, I guess, of the map. They were playing correctly. They actually didn't make any mistakes there. Crazy Raccoon didn't, except for Max like getting caught there while trying to touch cart. The main mistake that they made was just picking Zen in the spawn room. It's all on Shu. I think there's no reason to run the Zen. They're playing for their ultimates. They were playing to charge their ultimates. I want to watch what happens here. Okay, so this is the orbital ray that kind of zones. Max dies here. So, like, this is the one mistake that was made, that Max kind of overextended a little bit. But other than that, what Crazy Raccoon, really all they can do is play Zen LOS, play second, and then use ults to respond and go back in, which is kind of what they still do, even though they lose Max. So they play correctly. Why don't they switch comp? I mean, even if they switch comp now, the mistake's already made. They've already given up basically a fight's worth of progress. And, I mean, they can swap. I still think they should swap, but yeah. You see, here's the re-engage from Crazy Raccoon, the Bob, and the Juno ult are out. This is where they can play a little more aggressively. And that disengage, that speed ring from Ultraviolet was very good. Great speed ring. Great speed ring. Instead of Zen, who could Shu have switched to? Nothing. Stay Brig. Stay Brig or Shu could go Kiri. Kiri is like your other option, but honestly, stay. Stay. Or like, here's the thing. I think the problem for Crazy Raccoon here is that they had their roles swapped in the first place. You know what the best hero to go here is? Lucio. But Shu probably doesn't have a Lucio. So if Shu doesn't have a Lucio, which I honestly wouldn't trust Shu and Lucio anyways, I think really Shu should be on Juno and Chorong should be on Brig, and that's how they should have started. Why did they start with this? You would assume it's for swaps. Were they planning on doing the Zen swap? If they did, I think it's a terrible idea. If they weren't, and they were planning on going Kiri or Ana or something, or no, Ana's banned, right? If they were planning on going Kiri, I guess that's the only reason. Then I guess, like, maybe, but you know what? You know what I think happened here? Here's my theory. I think, because what I've seen from Crazy Raccoon playing this before, you know what their comp is? It is the same exact thing that's here. The same exact thing that you see here. But one thing is different. Shu is on Ana. It's still Chorong on Juno. So you know what I think happened? I think in the moment, when Nightmare banned Ana, Crazy Raccoon kind of panicked and they were like, shit, what are we gonna run? What's Shu gonna run? And then they put Shu on Brig, because they're like, okay, that's the best next thing, the next best thing we can do. And then they realized, oh wait, what are we swapping to? Are we staying this? Are we doing whatever? And then they went Zen, and then I don't think this is planned though. I think this messed them up. I think Shu honestly should have been on Juno. They should have swapped it. But I think since they were used to Chorong running Juno on this map, they kind of panicked and didn't swap it when they realized that Ana was banned. That's my theory. That's what I think happened. I think that makes the most sense. I think that makes the most sense because, again, they run Ana Juno. They put Shu on Ana. They put Chorong on Juno. They didn't know what to do after that. They put Shu on Brig, and then after that, everything went downhill. But I cannot think of a reason why Moon... I feel like Moon understands how Zen comps work enough, especially because he is known for coaching Brig Zen ball, right? And that was a composition that he liked coaching too. That was kind of my specialization as well. So I understand how Zen works pretty well. I think we're very similar in terms of like what we like to coach actually and how we like to approach things. I think he should understand that Zen is bad here on second point. I think Moon would. And I know Moon was upset after this match. I would have to assume this is one of the things he might be upset with. That's my take. But yeah, Shu to Lucio would be the best possible thing here, because Lucio Juno. Like, Lucio is good for booping Hazard. Brig can kind of get bullied by Hazard a bit more, so I think Lucio is like slightly more viable, you know? I'm trying to think of what else you could do here, but I don't have any like specific ideas. I mean, I think Hisung on Pharah is okay. You could swap it to Genji as well. You could do Ashe Genji or something, but I don't know. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it. But yeah, the support line there were some difficulties. I'm yapping a lot. Sorry about that, chat, but you know, hopefully my yapping. Oh, that was a swing and a miss from Kuffa. That's unfortunate. Oh, this rally from Admiral too is a bit inspirational, but you get that out at least. Admiral's gonna die here. Did Admiral know that we're disengaging? What happened? So many things are happening. It's great. Yeah, I don't know about that one from Admiral. I'm an Admiral Glazer, but that was slightly questionable. I think the rally came after the Transit pop too, unfortunately. Yeah, Hisung just solo ults lethal, which makes sense. I mean, that's a fair trade. Oh, it's at the same exact time. Just don't bash, then bash away. I think bashing Max there is the mistake. Yeah. If Admiral bashes away there, I think this fight is more winnable. Mistake from Admiral, but that's an easy mistake to make. Okay. And now... finally, Crazy Raccoon have stopped Nightmare's momentum, but they've essentially lost a fight. I would consider that a fight loss for Crazy Raccoon in the sense that they gave up basically the entire second point just to win that. They may as well have lost a fight and then recontested and won a fight, right? Not the best situation to be in. Now here, they're going to try and poke as much as they can because obviously their Zen has to keep backing over and over again. You can't really push back in. So you're going to see Shu start forward. It's going to back up. You give no space for free. No space for free with a Zen comp, you know? So he's going to start up here, get some damage off, then back up to the next corner. So he's going to do this over and over again. And he's going to get back to his favored kind of super far back spot. And all it's going to be is play for damage, play for ults. Now, Crazy Raccoon are lacking in ultimates here, so that's kind of difficult, but so are Nightmare. So Nightmare need to build up to their orbital ray. And I think Nightmare had a really cool play here. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but I think I am. Where they were charging. Now watch what they do here. I think this is what they do. I swear it's what they do. It's like, this is just such a cool fucking play. Yes, okay, this is it. So, what they do here is, you notice that nothing happened there for a while. You probably noticed that they're playing for Ultraviolet's Orbital Ray, okay? They're playing for this Orbital Ray. That's their entire win condition. That's all they want. They realize that they probably can't push Crazy Raccoon until they have something to support them in the process. And while you're doing that, you can't just poke and do nothing. You have to be a little bit active. So I think how they managed to do that is they have Zira controlling this right side. So he'll be over there. And you see he's just going to sit over here. And this is actually a different fight, but he does this in the other fight as well. So if we go forward to where that fight was happening. Oh, damn. Nice deflect. But yeah, Zira's going to poke over there. So Zira's going to control that. That's so that Crazy Raccoon can't pinch or do anything like that. And so that Hisung can't use that angle to like go after the backline of Nightmare while they're poking for orbital right. So Zira controlling the space, I think, is pretty important. It just makes sure that Hisung stays in check. And if Hisung does contest Zira, then Admiral is going to keep an eye on that. Okay, so Admiral's job is kind of like, okay, heal Zira and switch between that and making sure that nobody on Nightmare gets like dove and dies randomly, right? So Admiral's the one, and generally your Brig is the one looking at the Genji. You're packing the Genji. As the Koreans would say, giving the Genji cookies. I think they call Brig packs cookies in Korea. Like, unironically, that's what they do. And we can look at ultraviolet POV for this. We love switching POVs. This is the most efficient way to VOD, right? So, what they're going to do here is Kuffa's going to keep jumping in and out. And in and out. And he's going to keep doing that to, like, pressure, but not fully commit. What this is called is it's called a soft hit, okay? So these are soft hits. These are very good for building ult charge. You see he goes in, he goes out, and he's going to walk back in again. And this keeps pressure on your opponent so that your backline doesn't get rolled over, and it doesn't allow, it keeps your opponent on their toes, right? While also allowing you to build ult charge and not fully commit. That's the plan here. And now what they do is they were going for soft hits main, and then they switched left. And this switch left is key. Speed ring. Orbital ray. And what Kuffa does is Kuffa and Zira engage from main. Actually, I think the Brig does too. I think it is actually a Brig Genji split here. Whoa. Wait, that's even cooler than I thought it was. Hold on. This is sick. This is actually so fucking cool. Yeah. And then, yeah, we come in from the right. And then, so it's a Juno Sojourn split. The Sojourn gets the speed ring. The Sojourn goes up onto the high ground. You're using that orbital ray. And then the Hazard and the Genji and the Brig all come from the right side. So you go for that split. You create that split. And you do it very fast. You do it very fast so that Crazy Raccoon can't react to it. Look at that. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. I mean, yeah, just take a look at this. It might. Or that, yeah, there's the orbital ray. Up to the high ground. You kill the Pharah. Great pinch. And then Crazy Raccoon forced to disengage. They're going to have to re-engage with something. That's Hisung's barrage gone. Max is going to take a lot of damage. And then Max forced to Diva Bomb. Lip is able to get Admiral. Oh, what happened to Admiral? What happened to Admiral? I think it's here where it happens. Did Admiral feed a little bit? We missed whip shot. Oh, we should hit those. Oh, we did a bit of feeding, chat. That was a slightly generational feed, to be honest. I can't lie. And I think that results in a Crazy Raccoon fight win. So, it's okay. I think the fight still goes, and Chorong actually has to orbital ray. And then Nightmare try and disengage, Zira dies. It's just Zira who dies in the disengage, I think. Okay. I mean, hey, you get orbital ray out, so it's actually fine. It's actually fine. Was this orbital ray a complete troll from Chorong? That's the question. Like, is that worthwhile after you get that kill? Does that make any sense at all, right? I'm not sure if it does. I mean, Admiral's dead. But was that necessary? Was that needed? I mean, Max was low. But I don't know. This is tough. That might not be necessary though. And this does actually open it up for a Nightmare win. I'm going to go as far as to say not necessary. Admiral's dead. There's no Brig brawl. Nightmare aren't going to fully commit, so Max is going to be okay as long as he doesn't like implode in the next 2 seconds. And I think Max was going to be okay. That's my take. I think that is an unnecessary orbital ray. I don't think it's the right decision, but it's also not obvious in the moment whether that was correct or not. So that does mean I don't necessarily... I'm not going to get on, you know, Chorong's ass about it. I don't think it's a blatant throw. Nightmare come back in. They have a minute left, so they're kind of pushing it here now. There's the Hazard ult. God damn. Okay. All right. I mean... Awesome. And then the rally from Admiral. The rally timing's great. There's the nice kite. Good kite from Admiral. And then re-engage. You have the overclock to re-engage. Shit's beautiful. Max is dead. Yeah, that kill from Zira, though. Oh, I just want the Admiral POV for the rally there. That's all I'm curious about now. That's all I'm curious about now. Because I really like this here. I think this is very good. And I like that we opened with Rally here too. We go for the Hazard ult, it doesn't get a lot. And then the Rally to disengage the Bob. The fact that Nightmare wait to use their Overclock, I think here, the fact that Lethal waits to use Overclock is kind of key. What's up, Zeta Zero, my beloved? Yeah. Oh, nice, you get the trance out too. That was an aggressive, kind of greedy bash from Admiral that paid off. Oh, he lives with 50 HP. That's... Yeah, you're pushing it a little bit, but that's fine. Nice whip. Good whip, good whip, good whip. Nice. Okay. Solid. Solid. Now it's up to Zero to control the high grounds on third point. A lot of pressure on Zero here. Now again, with the Zen, the problem is that you cannot fight this first corner. You literally have to put your Zen in the whole way to the back and spawn. Like, we're talking where Zen likes to play here, and this is where Zen is like a set strat, where people will be like, okay, there's a ton of space, distance between like spawn and here, right? And there as well. I think the Zen sometimes plays here or here, okay? Either part. And basically the Zen plays in the door, is completely annoying. You can't reach him. He goes inside a spawn and heals if he needs to. So he doesn't need any help from his team. That's a set strat here on this map. It makes sense. It's a thing that can work. I don't necessarily think it's the best, but it can work. But it only works there because that gives you enough distance to actually make use of the Zen, in my opinion. And I don't think the Zen is a liability at that point because, you know, it's not like you're kiting any further. You're kiting just to the spawn if the Zen needs to kite. And it's so annoying for the attacking team to pressure that I think the Zen, again, no longer a liability. But until you reach this end of the third point, guess what's going to happen? Crazy Raccoon are about to play Kite Simulator. And they're not going to get 2 fights on third point probably because they're just going to get pushed back. That's what I'm expecting, at least. Yep, see, Shu's backing. Shu's playing Back the Fuck Up Simulator. Orbital Ray down for both teams. Oh, they tried to take a fight out of Zen LOS. Wait, I remember this. Hold on. They actually tried to take an aggro fight here. But this was kind of annoying for Shu. So yeah, Shu's going to play really aggressive in this room. You can't stay there forever, though. You're going to get forced out pretty fast. And this is where Zen is comfortable. The further back he goes on third point, the better. Half of third point already given up. First corner's gone. And this is where I think Chorong makes a really dumb decision. I think, in general, Krazer can make a dumb decision. And that is that they go for this orbital ray. I think that this is an extremely silly orbital ray. We are trying to swing this corner. And to swing this corner, we need to be able to see this area with our Zen. Do we think our Zen can see this area? Probably not. He probably doesn't want to be able to see that area because he is like the whole way in the back. You see, anytime you're playing with the Zen, everything you do has to be in the Zen LOS. It has to be in the Zen LOS. So I think that's like, it's just so important. And here, the orbital rays go down. Like, Shu can't see any backline targets. All Shu can do is like put a Discord on Kuffa and hope for the best. Heesung just goes in, barrages 2 supports, you know, you get a few kills, but the trades are just going to come through for Nightmare. And I mean, the only reason that was even close in terms of a fight was because Heesung got 2 with barrage. Otherwise, it's just not even close. It's not even close. And that's a Bob out from Lip too. So now there's no ults for Crazy Raccoon. And Nightmare basically win the fight. They're just pushing forward anyways, and they're just getting their backline back really fast. Ultraviolet's on Kiriko as like a swap to get back faster. It's a lost fight anyways. That fight is what happens when you try and play more aggressive with the Zen comp when your Zen can't see what's happening. That's really it. Also, what's up, Arkinspire? Good morning. Good morning. Back the Fuck Up Simulator. I think I'm in the beta testing for that game. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much Zen in a nutshell. Oh my goodness. Oh god. Oh god. Mujin, wait. Chat? Okay. I gotta talk about one of my favorite YouTuber for a second. Mujin just dropped the whole VTuber drama video. The whole insane Cinder VTuber drama. I don't even watch VTubers. I just find these videos fucking hilarious. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch that later. That's gonna be amazing. But yeah. Oh god. Time for Shu to play the whole way back here. Oh, he's playing so aggressive. Oh, the Transcendence doesn't even reach Max in time. Max is still dead. Oh, God. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, and Shu's dead. She's dead. Shu should have at least lived. You know, at least, like, don't sacrifice yourself. Like, Max is dead either way. We are staying in the enemy backline just to keep our baby diva alive. Oh, God. This is painful. So chat, in conclusion, I think do not play Zen on KingsR defense unless it is the very back of third point. And if you're going to play it on the very back of third point, play it correctly. Don't do what Shu did. Do not do what Shu did. And I pressed the button on accident. So, yeah, that's how Nightmare full capped. Now I think we have to be glued to Admiral POV, to be honest. I think we have to be glued to it. Because I have to glaze our GOAT Admiral. Because I think Admiral is the reason why things go so well here for Nightmare. Okay, so the set strat for Nightmare is just to simply run Hazard. And basically, remember what Pharah did and played Hotel and would kind of just sit in that area? Genji literally does the same thing. So remember what I talked about with the Crazy Raccoon comp? It's the same thing with the Genji. The Genji will sit there. The Genji will also help contest the cart. So will Hazard. We'll pet the creature, of course we will. There you go, creature. She's happy. She's satisfied. And let's see how Nightmare play this. Let's see how Crazy Raccoon play this. It looks like they might be trying to, like, mirror Hazard. Yeah, it looks like that's what they want to do. And they're going to run Kiriko, and I actually agree with that. So here's the interesting thing. I think Juno Brig is actually pretty solid on defense here. Kiriko could be a little bit better on attack. And the reason why Kiriko might be a little bit better on attack is because they can push the high ground. Now, Brig Juno kind of struggles to get up onto the high ground, especially, you know, getting your Brig up there to brawl and do all that. So having the Kiri there, you know, your Genji can take an angle, your Kiri can TP up, you can do all that. It's a lot easier. The Lucio can also fight that easier. The Juno Brig on defense starts on high ground, so that is easy for the Juno Brig in turn. And also the Brig can boot people off of high ground very effectively with whip shots. I think whip shot is very good on defense to have available to you, so it makes perfect sense to run the Brig. I think it can be pretty solid. Yeah, there we go. Whip shot, I think that hit Lip, and it forced Lip the Sojourn. That's the main source of damage for Crazy Raccoon off of the high ground. Good whip shot. Bash away. A little risky to bash away, but it is okay. We get a speed ring down. Miss. Pressure Max. Wrap around Hotel. Try to kill Max here. We might actually get the kill. Oh, wait. Shu TP'd in. Oh, my goodness. And then Admiral just... that wasn't even meant for Chorong. And now Admiral's doing... bouncing on the hazard wall, I guess. Okay. What was that fight? Okay, so we just had a chain of events. We boop we boop Lip off, sorry, and that's really good. Okay, and then we bash away. We get that speed ring down. I guess we're just trying to kite and give the high ground a little bit. I feel like we're giving high ground a little too soon, but it's fine. And then Max just doesn't know that Admiral's there, I guess. I feel like Admiral's the better target, but Admiral was not the one targeted. So Max slashes the wrong person. And then also Max is on Hazard, and I'm not sure that Max even plays Hazard that much. So that's interesting. And then whatever the heck happened there, and then we're just bouncing on that thing. And then yeah, okay. Sure. Sure, Admiral. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know how that hit Chorong. That was meant for Shu. That was absolutely meant for Shu. Chorong just came in there and was like, get down. I'll save you. Oh, Lethal's starting low ground. Oh, is Max just Giga feeding? What? What the flip are we doing? We have a Brig high. That's chill. We miss whip shot again. Okay, we need to be hitting those, but like, it's fine. And then Max is just like in. We drop down. It's a good drop. You see, that's a drop where, okay, we can get a kill, we can get an advantage, we can brawl the opponent, we feel confident in doing that. That's the kind of drop that works. The drop that Shu was doing, where we're dropping directly into the enemy team and they have all their cooldowns, is not a great idea, right? Admiral is dropping after Max already used his slash, and when Max was already, you know, in a vulnerable position. Yeah, Lethal getting pocketed by Admiral, that's great. I think Max just went straight in there without thinking. Chorong's able to get 0 before dying, but it doesn't matter. Chorong is in there now, there we go. Dead again. Okay. And now I think because Nightmare are waiting for a player to get back, I think... Who died? Who the fuck died? Zira. Okay. Zira, you suck. We need Zira to get back. Our Chungus Genji player, so... We're gonna have to play main and not play as aggressive. That makes sense, that's fine. You're playing for Rally as well, so you can re-engage with Rally. And look at Admiral's ult charge, by the way. Look at Admiral's ult charge. And either way, okay? I think for King's Row, getting a good hold means getting, honestly, like 1 minute 30 seconds. I think that's a solid hold here. It's difficult to hold much longer than that, unless like your opponent doesn't know what to do. If you get a hold longer than that, then you're like so sad. You're so sad. It's great, but yeah. 93% on that Rally already. Oh, we need to hit a whip shot though. Oh my goodness. Please, please, hit a whip shot on Max. Oh my god. Please, please chill in the whip shots. Chill in the whip shots. Calm down. Calm down. And Admiral might be a little like... Please. Please. Okay, Lethal's dead. Oh my... Oh, we missed another one. We're going in though. We rally. Okay, we're in there. We flip the whole way around. There's the beat. Okay, we're just trying to stabilize in the back. And finally, I think Crazy Raccoon should win this, yeah. Okay. We kind of missed a ton of whip shots there, and that Rally was super awkward. Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward situation, but yeah, in Hazard Mirror, like I said, chat, I was saying it, that Lucio is better, Juno Lucio is better against an opposing Hazard, there you go. Admiral over to Lucio, I think that's why. I think the Lucio has a bit more flexibility here too. You can play this high ground, like where Admiral is. You can switch, and you have so many places you can play in the sides. It's fun. It's fun. But it's way more annoying for Max on Hazard here. And hitting a boop is a bit easier than hitting those whip shots, which we were kind of not hitting. Zira just gets Chorong, I guess. What went on there? Oh, he kind of shit on him. That's crazy. Okay, Chorong was just trying to mark that flank, and nope, not happening. And here, I don't think Nightmare do much except for stop cart, which is what you want to do, because Nightmare stopping cart here already means that they're gonna get at least 2 fights on second point, and that's better than what Crazy Raccoon got. Because remember Crazy Raccoon, they were just like S key, S key, S key, S key until the very end of second point. Nightmare actually gets several fights, which is, you know, nice. Because if you mess up, you can come back from that. Okay, overclock from Lethal. Good starting ultimate. We're gonna wrap around the side. Nice. Okay, Crazy Raccoon kite it, so that's just an ult for not much, I guess. But now Crazy Raccoon's turn to try something. You see, Hisung's gonna try and go for an angle. And here's Zira trying to trade with Blade. Gets one. Oh, nice deflect, actually. Really nice deflect. That's a good kill. Ultraviolet's dead, but somehow Admiral's alive. Zira. Whoa. Whoa. I wonder how Admiral lived that. Because also, look at this. Nightmare are actually like doing pretty well here. Nice deflect again. You deflect the Soj disruptor shot. Okay, Admiral must have done something there, so I'm actually curious. We're gonna go back to Admiral here. There's the Blade. Okay, so we're kind of sticking in the orbital ray. Ultraviolet got that off. Ultraviolet gets a little bit split. Oops, we kind of deflected into the... we kind of shot into the deflect there, but it's fine. And now we're chasing. We live. We get Shu. Wrap back around. Nice. Solid. That's well played. That's well played. A good orbital ray from Ultraviolet as well. I think it's fine for Ultraviolet to die there. Kaffa just needs to live now. The disengage is good. Here is the beat to deal with the overclock from Lip. Nice. And oh, Admiral gets caught by that. I think Admiral looked a little lost there. I would be too. I didn't even realize that the hazard ult was on him. There were so many colors. There's so many colors happening, chat. Like, how are you even supposed to know? I think Admiral's like, wait, shit. So many colors on the screen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's fine though. Because remember, Crazy Raccoon just used all their ultimates, and Nightmare get another fight. They get another fight, and Lethal's building up to that overclock. This is a great position to be in. The only issue that I can see for Nightmare is that Kitsune is just better than overclock, right? So you need to get this overclock off fast, and you need to pressure Shu somehow, or at least make it so that that Kitsune cannot get maximum value for Crazy Raccoon. You get one more touch. Here, I think Crazy Raccoon go for a hyper-aggressive engage. Chorong's able to get lethal. This is where Admiral makes his play, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This 2 kills. And then this is where we thought it was all over. Comes in, turns, kills Chorong, gets lip. Wow. And who got them low? It was Zira. So Zira and Admiral go in for the trades. It's a smart decision to go in for the trades, too. There's that initial dash, I think. So Shu, TP forced. You lose your Soj, you lose your Juno. No more backline. Dash through that hits both Admiral and Lethal. Sorry, fuck. Chorong and Lip. I'm getting my teams mixed up. And then Admiral finishes the kills. Nice. Solid Genji Lucio dive right there. That is a great example of a Genji Lucio dive. And that's one of the key components of this mirror as well. Which Genji Lucio can get more value, right? Off their hits. Admiral's dead. Wrapping around. Cuff is back in. And Nightmare, they've managed to stabilize. And Crazy Raccoon realize there's not much they can do. That's the Kitsune down once Shu's dead. And that's going to force a full reset. The big staggers, actually. Hisung and Shu. It's tough for Crazy Raccoon. They do get the waves respawn, though, so it doesn't particularly matter. Okay, so Overclock and Orbital Ray. Good. And then Blade as well. They're just gonna full commit. Chorong's dead, nice. And then back around. So they just throw everything down on that Kitsune that Lip put down. That makes sense, though. It's final fight situation. They want to use everything and try and win. They don't need to worry about ult economy, you know? Like, when you're in this situation, you're like, well, if we can just win here, we're gonna do it. Both teams are going to be desperate to win the fight, so both teams are willing to use all their ultimates. And I think both teams pretty much use all of them, yeah. I mean, Lip and Chorong don't have theirs. They can't physically use them, but... yeah, Nightmare do their best to win that with all their ultimates. That's why they kind of used all their ultimates without really, you know, a second guess. And, okay, we back up and we go to the final point here. Papa has the ult. Admiral. We're gonna go back to Admiral because I feel like, again, he's kind of like the map MVP in a sense. And we can go here. So, it looks like Nightmare are kind of given a bit, but they want to stop cart here. Lip's able to get lethal very early on. Damn. This is the beat from Admiral. Push in. You need to trade. Trade. Hisung's able to get Ultraviolet. The trades are kind of going in Crazy Raccoon's favor. Can you get one? You can. Admiral's able to get Hisung. Die cart. Cuff is able to get Shu. Nice. That Genji Hazard Lucio front line. You just go for what you can if you lose your back line. The Lucio is not actually playing a ton to protect the Juno. You're doing it a little bit at the start of the fight, but once you get into that late fight, you're looking just to try and trade out. You're kind of expecting to lose your Juno to a certain extent. Okay. The Genji Lucio, control this right angle. Nice. Farm what you can, do what you can. Ultraviolet's going to play on his own on the left. I like that. Ultraviolet's going to use the spawn to heal for himself. The Kitsune is down. Can we get a re-engage? I'm pretty sure we can. There's the overclock re-engage. It's good. The kite there from Nightmare into the Kitsune was pretty much perfect. I don't know if you noticed. We can take a look at what they did there, because it was actually pretty nice. It was actually pretty nice, especially what Lethal did there. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we're gonna lose players. We're gonna switch to the left side. And we're gonna do a bit of a split here. You see our Genji Lucio? They're gonna play on the right side, they're gonna control this. And then our Sojourn and our Juno, they're gonna play together on the left. And you see Lethal's just gonna play here, play on this angle, dash back up. Has the 2 slides as well. And what's nice about this is the Lucio does not need to peel for the Sojourn or the Juno at all. That Kitsune is pretty easy to kite as well. That's a bonus as well. You see Lethal and Ultraviolet, they're very calm. They just back up into spawn. They don't do much. Kappa kites away, re-engages back in. There's the overclock to support it. And there's nothing that can be done for Crazy Raccoon. And I think that's another kind of a mistake from Shu. I think you kind of have to hold on to that and use it to just try and kill Kuffa in the moment. I think Kuffa is the key target there. You're not going to be able to get the Sojourner Kiriko, or sorry, Juno. You saw how like Max and everybody tried to kill the Sojourn and the Juno and they just went into spawn. Like, you can't kill them. You have to try and force the tank out. That way nobody can touch. You're trying to force a C9 basically. And they didn't play for that at all. They went for backline. And going for backline was a bad mistake. Big mistake there. So, yeah, okay. King's Row, filled with mistakes, different things that could have been done better. But I think generally, like, there were some fair fights and decent plays from Nightmare that won them fights. It wasn't like Crazy Raccoon were full on throwing, although they did kind of make it a lot easier, especially for Nightmare on their attack, you know? The Hanzo pick was also kind of lucky. First point, I don't think you can rely on that happening. So, you know, that's another factor you can consider, but yeah. Kind of crazy. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom here and then we can keep going. Keep chilling.